Oh, welcome to another episode of Fossiliferous. And we've had some pretty heavy showers coming over today. We've got the precursor to Storm Amy, the first storm or named storm of the year. But we've got a couple of hours on the beach to go see if we can find some nice stuff. So hopefully we don't get too wet. I'm wearing my waterproofs just in case. But yeah, I just wanted to show you these. Look at these. You can see the spikes here. Look at these spikes on this branch. So these are sloes. So like little plums, but they're very astringent. They've got a big stone inside. It's what you use to flavour your gin. So yeah, you can make sloe gin out of these things, and they're just everywhere this year. This year has been absolutely crazy for berry fruit. So yeah, loads of these about. You don't want to get caught in these though, because these spines are pretty sharp, which is why a lot of these are used for hedging. But yeah, shame we can't find some damsons, because they're a bit more tastier. But never mind, I'll keep my eye out. Now, trouble with the microphone today, but we're down on the beach. See if we can find some nodules while the tide's out. You never know, could be good. But I haven't got a long time to waste messing with the microphone today, unfortunately. I'll have to sort out any problems another time, because we've got ammonites to find. So yeah, it's always good when the tide is out to look at the low tide mark and see if you can see out in the rock pools. Sometimes there is stuff, sometimes there isn't. Let's go see if we can find out. Never know. I'm just looking through all the pebbles as I'm walking along. See, there's been one in there, but it's too worn away. Always a good sign though when you see one, there could be more. So I'll keep looking. See where. I normally find a few around this width, so can be good. Right, just looking through the rock pools. See if we can see any interesting bits. Sometimes you see loads, sometimes you don't. I'm not seeing loads this time, I've got to say, but you can see that's had a dack in there. Not any more. Plenty of signs of bits and pieces, but again it's whether you can see anything really poking out that's worthwhile taking. Really, this stuff tends to be quite worn down here, so unless it's of a decent enough quality, I'm not going to bother taking it. But we'll see. Now that was a bit difficult. I was trying to get the microphone sorted there, but yeah, that looks like a decent nodule to maybe give a tap to. So we'll keep hold of that. A little tap in a minute. Now we've got the microphone working. Hey, technical difficulties. These things happen when we have new technology. Yeah, just looking through the pebbles, see if I can find anything that looks like it's a decent ammonite. You never know. Sometimes there can be some reasonable stuff here. Sometimes it's not very good. I normally find one or two bits, so while the tide's out, might as well look. Again, that's had one in, but it's too far gone. Too far gone. Quite a lot of that today. Again, same. Could have a middle in that one actually. I might give that a little pop with the hammer. Yeah, plenty of worn out ones, but not very many that I would say are worth collecting today. Yep, okay, so that nodule actually, yeah, there's a lovely dack in there. Okay, so I've revealed some of the whorls, but I'm not going to go further because it'll likely break. It needs some air pens to finish the preparation. Right, see if we can find some more nodules to have a little bash at. I'm sure there'll be some. Unfortunately, the centre didn't come out, so yeah, never mind. Can't win them all. Again, that looks like a nice nodule sort of shape. Could be okay. I'll give it another bash. I'll leave it a bash here. No, not in that one. I'll try to do these rocks first because these will get covered up quite soon, and then yeah, that'll be opportunity lost. There's not loads to see. Yeah, sometimes I've found quite a few down this end, and it's quite often clustered together. You get a little section full of bits in these little crevices. Possibly not today. Right, I'll have to go around that way. It's a bit too treacherous. So yeah, it's getting into the good time on the Yorkshire coast. Definitely now. It's getting into September, and that means there's more fossils about. Hopefully, well, it should mean more fossils about. Not always, but I'm hoping that Storm Amy hopefully stirs things up a little bit, because it's certainly been plenty of warm sunshine over the last few weeks and over summer, so dries and bakes out the shales that are exposed, and then all you need is some rain to bring those shales down, hopefully along with some ammonites. Ooh, so yeah, a bit of rock skipping at the moment. I'm going to go over the seaweedy bit. I want to see if there's fresh come down, and then we'll carry on, see if we find some more stuff. Just come over these rocks, and looks a likely nodule, possibly a bit small actually. I'll give it a tap anyway, just in case. Another nodule there. A few little nodules around here actually. Probably need a tap to see if there's out inside them. I don't think there will be, to be honest. No, that's rubbish. Nah, nothing in those at all. Nothing in those at all. So, carry on, see if there's anything down this bit. There's obviously signs of ammonites, you know, there's broken nodules. So, yeah, there's definitely some bits have come out at some point. Again, don't know if anyone's been down here recently, so, you know, might not be anything left for me, you never know. It's a chance you take every time you come down, but if you're not on the beach, well, you're not going to find anything, that's for certain. So you've got to be in it to win it, that is for certain. Okay, so first of all, I did see this one, but it's not very good. I don't think that's all there. But look at this one down here. Oh, that's definitely all there. Lovely dack. A little bit of worn out ridges, but yeah, that is going to be a good specimen. It's going to be definitely all there. Quite curious ribbing, but I think it's just wear. I think it is just a dack. Nice. Let's see if we can find some more bits along here. At least one decent dack at least, which is nice. There's loads of bits. I mean, that's a bit there, but again, no, just the middle that's worn out. Ooh. just bits everywhere, but again, middle worn out. Yeah, not good that bit.
Welcome back. Just spent a few hours this afternoon having a look at this Strigger mats. It's took quite a bit of cleaning this surface. I've been using the air abrasive mainly, and then with the fine pen I've been having to take the odd bit of shell off. The surface was actually covered, absolutely covered in small shells, worm tubes, but it's looking promising. I think I'm going to cut the mouth. I'm just going to cut a straight mouth border on this. The repairs, there's one here, larger one here, and then a bit of an infill here. What I'm going to do with them is I'm going to build them up with putty, but it's not looking too bad. We can probably do something with that. The Fossiliferous, I've had a quick look at that as well. Where are we? I don't know, it's not looking that good, this, but I'm going to do a bit of fine pen work around the outside because this should have spines, and we'll have a look and see what's preserved of them, if anything. I've just blasted that little pseudo Lias and mine. I will just nat it. I'll coat that up a bit. Usual stuff, I think, for this chemi. Probably end up in my spares box, this one. I don't have a lot of room for displaying fossils. I basically have a couple of IKEA glass cabinets, and that's about my cracker. Due to the size of the bungalow, we've downgraded in size over the last few years, and I don't have the just don't have the space available anymore. Got the matrix, so I have to clean that afterwards. There we go. On for the spares drawer. mouth border with the dental drill is because I want to avoid chipping the calcite in the very edge of it. You could use a small diamond saw, but even they can tend to chip them a bit. But the dental drill is very good at anything like this because of the high speed it's turning at. Start to pen this away now. Right, I'm going to call it a day. It's gone tea, it's really warm in here. So we've cut the mouth border. I've just cut back a little bit around the keel here and there. I've also ground undercut this repair area here. I've cut back on the edges ready for the putty and resin fill. So actually we've not really had a bad day. We'll make the putty areas up tomorrow and that can go to one side to dry for 24 then.
Yeah, just had a stop over at YHA Boggle Hole. It's a lovely little youth hostel actually. Nice little cafe set in the valley of this little stream, and it's high tide at the moment. Unfortunately there is a lot of seaweed about still at the moment. We really need that to go away. We're going to go to our first fossil location, which is Ravenscar. and have a look in down there, see if there's anything good. In the meantime, if you do stop at Boggle Hole, there is a bit of a walk to get back to your car. But lovely place. You can actually go up those steps along the cliff top path, come down at Stoop Beck. There's a little bit of fossil hunting there as well. But yeah, today I'm going to do Ravenscar and see if we can find any interesting stuff. Right, let's get up the hill. Two and a half miles to Ravenscar. Let's head down. And so Ravenscar is quite interesting because it does have sections of the stratigraphy which we don't see elsewhere. To kind of give you some context, so the Jurassic is divided up into stages. So the oldest is the Hatangian, about 200 million years ago, and then in 198 we hit the Cinemurian, and then the Pliensbachian follows that, and then we have the Tuarcian, and after Tuarcian it's the Elenian, then the Bajocian, Bathonian, Calovian, Oxfordian, Kimmeridgian, and there's a few more stages, Tithonian, etc., right at the end of the Jurassic. So before we go into the Cretaceous stages. So yeah, the Yorkshire Coast, we've got the oldest strata over at Redcar, actually not in Yorkshire, it's in Cleveland, but that is 200 million years old, Hatangian, and as we come down the coast, generally it gets younger, but it obviously goes up and down quite a bit, so we see different bits poking out different places. Robin Hood's Bay is a good example, so in the middle of the bay we have the Cinemurian outcropping there, and either side of it is the Pliensbachian, and Ravenscar, it kind of pops back up again. There's a big fault called the Peak Fault, which brings the Tuarcian stage back in play, and the Tuarcian stage is what you generally find on the Yorkshire coast. Whitby is the common stuff where you find the Dax and Hildes. So it starts with the grey shales and the Tenucestatum ammonites, goes into the jet rock, which is the Elegantistrus, golden cannonballs, and then we get the Dax and Hildes. So at Ravenscar we've got, a dead badger, we've got lots and lots of layers starting at the Pliensbachian on the Peak Fault, very, very, very condensed because it's rising up, and then it goes through the jet rock very, very quickly into the Bifrons, and at the far end of the bay we start seeing the layers that we don't see elsewhere, the Variabilis zone and the Thuarens zone, which lie above the Bifrons. So they're a little bit younger, 179, 178 million years ago, whereas the Bifron zone's about 180. And with that we get different ammonites, so we get the Gramoceras, we get the Horgias. On the way down, we've got plenty of time today, so the tide won't be out yet. I just realised I've not put my wellies on. That's a bit silly. Oh, I need to do that. Wow, it's very bright to my eyes. Hopefully it's not too glary on camera, but that is always a magnificent scene. Coming down here and seeing Ravenscar, Blue White Point in the distance, and you know, these pretty majestic cliffs that run along here. Yeah, pretty cool. It's exposing all those upper beds. I'm going to go this way. It is a little bit of a maze, is this path, but kind of heading downwards. Oh, I think I've gone the wrong way actually, never mind. Yeah, it is a deer path actually, so it's the path that the deer use, which is why we get the ticks. But it is also, we do get adders here as well, so you know, sturdy footwear. You shouldn't really be coming in flimsy footwear just in case you stand on one. So really, I always wear wellies coming down here. and then when we get down to the bottom, just check, make sure I've not got any little creepy blighters on me, because no one wants Lyme disease. It's extremely dangerous disease, is Lyme disease. So yeah, it can be quite debilitating and yeah, give you life-changing illness. So yeah, avoidance is definitely the main bit. Oh, spiky bush again. They're slow berries again, big spiky trees. Not so many slows on these ones down here though. Although there's one. Look, yeah, slow berries. That's why they're so spiky. Oh, this is becoming a tunnel now. This is getting ridiculous. These trees, I'm sure I've mentioned it many times. Look at all those berries. Wow, absolutely filled this year. I've never ever seen these trees down here with berries on before, ever. And this year, yeah, full of it. But yeah, I'm sure these trees are slowly falling over and into the sea. As every time you come down this path, the trees have moved, this time quite significantly. And it's definitely not growth, because they're growing sideways. It's, let's say, I think the whole land is slipping. It's obviously a slow process, but it's obviously continuous. Yeah. These trees weren't like this before. Through the jungle of ferns. Oh. This is how you get ticks, unfortunately, is rubbing through all these ferns. Again, do get people on the forum saying, can I bring my dog to Ravenscar? No. Basically. Not this way anyway, and certainly not the other way, because there's seals on the beach. So yeah, bad idea. But despite the tick menace, it is quite a nice walk. Crikey, it does become more of a tunnel. It's ridiculous. I used to be able to walk upright on this bit. Trees don't get shorter. Oh, we come towards the tractor now. So in fact, the old path used to go underneath this tree, and the tree has slumped so much that you can't get past now. Yeah, so that's the tractor there. Right, that's the first bit done. Next bit. Every so often you get a bramble tangled around your welly and it tries to trip you up. So the ferns are starting to die back now, actually, looking at this. So yeah, in June, July time, these things are taller than your head. Yeah, they really are. And navigating down here, generally, I don't come this way. I normally go the other way. Looks like someone's made a new path, which is handy. Again, just look at the berries on that hawthorn. It's just absolutely packed. We might have had a drought, but it's not done badly for the fruit. Certainly not. Maybe it's like their survival mechanism. Right, if we're going to die of drought, let's make lots of seeds. I don't know, but there's definitely a heck of a lot. Right. Ho ho ho. And that is the worst bit done. So we're just going to get down there now. Take my time. We'll be waiting anyway for tide to come. There's some seals over there as well. You see his head poking out. You can see the seals poking quite a lot out there, actually. Quite sure what they're doing, if they're sat on a rock or what. There's another one over there doing the same thing. And another seal there as well. And there he goes. Obviously doing something. Strange creatures. They might follow me as I go along because they're quite curious. Little dogs, in fact, there's absolutely loads out there actually. So I am down here a little bit early. That's okay because you know what? The sun's shining. I've got seals to watch. It's absolutely lovely. It's always the same down here. So there's a little bit of breeze, but nowhere near as much up there. It's warm. Yeah, it's fantastic. So it really is a lovely place to come. I'm the only one on the beach. Might not be for forever, but yeah, we'll see. I certainly, hopefully, will be first on the beach. And yeah, it's just nice. So yeah, just waiting for the tide to go out a little bit. Can do a little bit of time-lapse filming and various bits and pieces. And I'm going to have a look through the sandstone piles. We'll see if there's anything that's come out. You can find, you know, rare ammonites in some of these blocks. You can see different marine bands. But yeah, the seals are out in the bay, poking their heads up. There's quite a few of them actually. It'll take you by surprise. Suddenly they just poke out of the water and it's like, oh, hello. But yeah, we're just on the, this is the jet rock bit actually, so we're actually above the, well, probably just above the jet rock band here actually. So down there is the Fossiliferous band, which is the very top of the jet rock, and marks the start of the Bifron zone. And as we go this way, it's getting successively younger rocks at the base of the cliff. Obviously the older beds are dipping down underneath. It's the stuff that confuses everybody. So this is not actually a piece of tree. It does look like it, but it's not. It's a geological formation, is this. So it's just the way the rock's crystallised. But yeah, even though it looks like a piece of tree, it's not. But you know what, if you like it, take it. Why not? You know, it's a nice little doorstop. But yeah, it's not a tree. Over the millions and millions of years that the Mesozoic, Jurassic and Cretaceous periods were depositing rocks, you know, the sea levels obviously went up and down quite a lot. And you know, we get different depositions because there's different stuff dropping into the bottom of the ocean or the sea. And you can see there, look, it's almost like fluvial. And I think there is, well, I'm not sure if this is the case, but you know, there's little, almost like little sponges or something, bits of rock, pebbles. You just get this layer, this band, and there can be marine species in it like belemnites and ammonites and various bits and fragments, shells. So yeah, I think this period, that period of time, there was, I think, the Yorkshire Basin was actually like a large delta, and very shallow. We got the remains of an ammonite there, look, just in there. So yeah, you do see these bands of shelly material have been deposited down, which are quite interesting. Not really collectible, but it kind of tells the story that, you know, this at one point in the earlier Jurassic, we have these muddy shales, which would suggest probably a deeper environment. We get various beds of bottom feeding or benthic fauna, which suggests the sea wasn't very deep. And then we get sandstone, which, you know, suggests the sea was sandy. So yeah, there's lots of pieces to the puzzle. I'm sure people, geologists, paleontologists who have studied this sort of thing at university can tell me in a lot more detail about what happened. But yeah, I think the Cleveland Basin or the Yorkshire Basin, yeah, definitely became shallower after the or near the latter end of the Tuarcian stage, and the rocks all become very, very sandy, and then even terrestrial. So we get the dinosaur footprints, which would suggest, you know, very, very shallow for those to be preserved. Yeah, okay. Carry on looking for interesting things. Right, so we're down onto the Bifron section. There's a worn one there, which is no good. There's a piece of jet here, look. Very thin jet, I think. It is jet, not very good quality. But yeah, piece of fossilised monkey puzzle tree. There's a lovely little belemnite tip there. And that would have been a monster hildy just there, but that's yeah, shale preserve, so it looks like that's washed away. But I did find a little dark pebble, and it's not the best, but you know, lovely little pyritic dark there. So yeah, there's loads of bits and pieces. We got dachroma ovum, or dachromia I think it is, ovum shell there, or nut shells, squashed ammonites, loads of stuff, all nice to see. But belemnites, again, you know, we don't hammer and chisel this stuff, but interesting to see. Certainly while the tide's still in anyway. You can see this is a hildy bed, because look, there's another impression just there as well. Well, some nodules washing out around here. It's probably no middle, but you know, it could have from that side. Might be worth a little tap maybe. Chances are no middle. Oh, that's a shame. Again, no middle. Yeah, just a shame. When you see them like that, it's like, oh, no middle. They're all the same, to be honest. They're all the same. No middles. Oh, there's one here, look. That might have a middle, actually. That's at least got a cap on both sides. Not the best preservation. You know, you got bits of belemnite, another dac in there, but again, probably not the best. Again, probably no middle. There's loads of bits, look, when you start looking here. So many bits. All washing out. Yeah, none of these, unfortunately, are much good. It's all badly preserved nonsense. just bits everywhere. It's probably got one in as well. Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, that's not going to be well. None of these are well preserved, unfortunately, at all. Leave them on the beach for other people, I think. It's a shame, but yeah, it is the way it is sometimes. Just look at this. It's just bonkers, isn't it? Let's put them all together. Someone will think they found the mother lode. Another one there, probably. No, maybe not. There's shells, bivalves, little bivalve shells everywhere. Look at these. A little bit of ammonite. These little dachroma ovum shells. I might take a few of these little shells actually. They're quite nice. Pop them in a little jar. There's actually quite a lot of them. Obviously this shale has broken up with the big seas, and it's just deposited them everywhere, along with these bits of belemnites and, you know, bits of, that's another ovum shell. Yeah, lots and lots and lots of bits. But really, no collectible ammonites, unfortunately, which is a shame. Oh well. Absolutely loads of these shells actually. Everywhere when you start looking. Yeah, quite nice. Put them in a little jar. If you collect enough, they look pretty good. Again, some are better than others. It's better saving the good ones. A lot of them get crushed, unfortunately. But some of them are, you know, very nice. Look at these. have a little sort through these in a minute and just yeah, I'll discard the ones which aren't very good. Just take some nice ones. Very good. The problem is when you start picking them up, if you start dropping them, you start picking them up again. So yeah, little fossilised shells, very nice. So there's been a little bit of a cliff fall just up there. That's interesting. So yeah, I've just managed to get around there, which was a little bit hairy, but yeah, some fresh material to look through. So this looks definitely quite fresh. It's quite high up, so if there is anything, it might be Grammoceros, could be Augia, could be Catacoloceros, but there's some decent chunks of it come down. So yeah, big chunks. So we'll have a look, see if we can see some nodules. There is something there which looks interesting. Bit flat, never mind. But yeah, we'll just have a little bit of a look round and see if we can spot anything interesting. It might be that this is the wrong beds. Could be, in fact, but it could actually be too high up. That's a big chunk that's come down as well. So yeah, there's some right lumps come down, certainly. Doesn't appear to be still too active. At the same time, I'm not seeing any nodules much either, so could be wrong beds, could be. Right, that's interesting. Little shells there. So there's not a lot of nodules. I've picked a few interesting ones up. I'll give them a tap just in case there is outing. There was a rather large keel poking out, but it was not very well preserved. So yeah, possibly that's a little bit too high. Certainly there is nodules in it. Makes me wonder if any more is going to come down, because I was expecting this this corner to come down at some point, because that's all overhanging now. That bit came down a couple of years ago and was quite good for grammos. But yeah, possibly a little bit too high up. So yeah, we'll bash these nodules down and see. I think they're going to probably be empty. I need to put you a little bit further back. Yep, nothing in that one. It's a hard one, is that? Again, probably not in this. Nope, not in that one. Ooh, it's a rolly one. Nope. No, it doesn't look like this is a good fall at all. The fall it is. A good fall it's not, all empty. Right, never mind. Let's see if you can find something else. Oh, not really very good. Managed to pick up a couple of dark nodules in that rubble. But yeah, mainly it's just covering the good stuff. So yeah, I think it's too high a bed, so we really need like the next section to come down. So hopefully that will do it at some point, but not while we're here obviously, because that would be pretty scary. But yeah, I'm going to head back, to be honest. It's I'm not going to go do the other bay. I think given the conditions, I think I might try somewhere a bit different and see if I can find something there, because yeah, it's pretty tough going on the Yorkshire coast this week. Right, so I'll head up the cliff and we'll reconvene in a little while.